right, how we doing? Welcome to the test pilot for complaints and observations with your horse. Horse? You were off to a good start already. With your horse, Dave Lapointe. Basically, complaints and observations. So I wrote down a little bit of a script of what I wanted to say here, and I've already fucking screwed that whole thing up. So we're off to a rousing start. Anyway, this is really just a test to make sure that everything works, but I'll just kind of run through my thoughts and ideas for the show and where things are going to progress from here. But basically, complaints and observations is something that's kind of been bubbling in my head for quite some time now. And I've had all this stuff for, going on a year, and I've just been exceedingly lazy with getting this set up. And that's sort of part of my thing, is being exceedingly lazy. So you'll see, and then hopefully I don't skip too many days, weeks, or however long, and this turns into something of substance, of some value to myself, especially. Not so much for you poor souls that might be listening to this right now, but some sort of intrinsic value for myself, just to kind of get my thoughts out into the ether. Very similar to my Twitter feed, which is hot trash. So the hope is that this is less trashy, just maybe a little bit better. So basically what I'm going to talk about are, issues of the day. I shouldn't say issues of the day. That's kind of stupid. Wouldn't say that. More issues and things that kind of annoy me more than anything else. But I'll talk about sports. I'll talk about a lot of sports just because I'm a caveman, and that's pretty much all I have any sort of knowledge about is sports. But other things too, culture in general, variety of different things that may come up. There could be some issues of the day, even though I just shit on them earlier. But pop culture stuff, not a ton, just because a lot of it is sort of repetitive and boring to me. But if something catches my eye, or if there's something that's being talked about, I'll bring it up, and we can discuss it, complain about it, bitch about it, and shit on it if we need be. So, and I really hope to stay apolitical, but that may not be possible with some complaints and some issues. But I'll try to do my best to not be political, because quite frankly, that's very. It's not going to help me. It's not going to help you. So I'll do my best to kind of stay away from that. But so essentially, I'm going to break it up into a couple of different things. And, first and foremost will be complaints. I'll talk about a couple of things that basically that I just find irritating. For example, as I'm writing out this script, I completely fucked it up and just could not spell. I could not write. And my thinking is that as time goes on, and as, work life, home life, everything is electronic and text-based, keyboarding, holy fuck, David, typing, so the ability to actually write on a piece of paper legibly, that talent has to go away, does it not? Is that something that's still taught? I know that they don't teach kids how to speak cursive anymore, but speak cursive? See, this is fucking ridiculous. What am I doing? Speak cursive? Oh my God. Write cursive. They don't teach it anymore. And, I learned it when I was a kid and never use it. My signature is chicken scratch. Basically, you can make out two letters of my name, the D and the L. Ooh, real fucking cute, you moron. Basically, my thinking is that, the only time I would write would be taking notes during a phone call at work, writing out like a shopping list or something like that, but no actual long form writing anymore. Who would do that? It's not a transferable skill anymore. You don't put writing on a resume, do you? Unless you know shorthand, like old school, like secretarial shorthand, which is honestly, it's like fucking Klingon. It's a whole other language. It's absurd. If you get a chance to sort of look into that, check it out, you'll be fascinated. or annoyed by it, one of the two. But anyways, so I mean, things like that's sort of the gist. I hope to maybe have longer complaints, different complaints, better complaints. But the second part is sort of taking a number one complaint for the show and then having somebody come on, whether it's an expert or someone with just more knowledge on the complaint than myself, have a little bit of an interview, a back and forth, a conversation, if you will, and just sort of discuss the complaint to find out if my complaint is at all viable or if that person can sort of change my mind. And then, award the winner a pat on the back, basically. So that's one thing. Second would be just to have guests on to just riff on my complaints or riff on their complaints, talk about things that are going to be on their mind. And I have a feeling that that's sort of how the beginnings of the show are going to go, just because my ability to get, guests that are actually knowledgeable people probably will be difficult at first, but who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky. And then, segments would be, listener complaints, whether they're sent in via email or the Twitter page or the Facebook page, which quite honestly, I really didn't want to make, but the web hosting company said, hey, you can't go to Google if you don't have a fucking Facebook page. That's going to be a complaint too down the road, but it is what it is. What can you do? So, the thinking is that, hey, here's a complaint, riff on it, talk about it. Hopefully it's something more than Dave, you suck. And if that's the case, provide some substance with your complaint. Don't just say, oh, Dave, you suck. You're an idiot. You say nah way too much to have your own fucking podcast. To have your own podcast is basically take this stupid USB based microphone, plug it in your computer, sign up for this website, and off you go. It's really not that hard at all. Idiots like myself could do it. So anyway, and then, other stuff I'll talk about, what I'm listening to, what I'm watching, what I'm doing, just sort of a wholly boring look into what I do all day, considering the real impotence to even impotence, it's the wrong word. God, it might be the right word. Who knows? Anyways, the real driving force behind this, or at least to start it, was I got fired. I got fired for performance during a fucking pandemic. That's just my luck. So, anyways, so now I have a ton of time in my hands. I'm going to do a bunch of, well, I shouldn't say I'm going to do a bunch of shit because I'm not. I'll probably do a couple things. But, for the most part, it's to maybe provide a laugh or two. Maybe you'll learn something. I know I'm going to learn something. At least that's my hope. The hope is to kind of talk to people who know a lot more about something that I have even a passing interest in, and that I would find some value in learning about. Obviously, I would prefer that people are entertained. That's the goal, obviously, but we'll see what happens. So thank you very much for taking, 8 minutes out of your day to listen. There's going to be a whole lot of dead air, ums and ahs, repetitive phrases, just because I'm not used to speaking into a microphone. The last time I did anything with a microphone is shouting obnoxious metal lyrics into a microphone. God, how long ago was that? Holy shit. 10 years? 15 years? It's been a long fucking time. But anyways, that's it. Complaints and observations, hopefully once or twice a week. Here's some fun stuff. But thanks a lot. I appreciate you. God, see you later.